Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review What Josiah Saw. This is a new horror thriller coming to Shudder, focusing on a family with buried secrets reunite at a farmhouse after 2 decades to pay for their past sins. And you have Robert Patrick as Josiah, who is the patriarch of this twisted, messed up family, and he's the one who probably really orchestrates them all coming back. You have Thomas, played by Scott Hayes, who is pretty disturbed and has a really uncomfortable relationship with his father that you see at the beginning of the film. His father abusive, pushing him. You have Eli, played by Nick Stahl, interesting enough, who winds up going his own journey trying to save this young girl and getting caught up in a whole mess with a bunch of carnival folks, and parts get pretty thrilling. And then you have Kelly Gardner, who plays Mary, who's the daughter, who definitely has a lot of mental health issues. She has a tense marriage with her husband Ross, played by Tony Hale, and trying to get pregnant, but all of them have all this baggage from their youth, all centered around their father. And Robert Patrick is so disgusting and disturbing in this film. I think all the actors who play the kids do a fine job. I don't think they're the strongest actors. I don't know if they give the strongest performances, but you do feel it. I do think probably Gardner is probably the most poignant in terms of her performance, in terms of like emotions emoting and really connecting with the audience. The story structure is you get the stories of each of them before they all converge at this farmhouse to confront some really disturbing and messed up truths. But what's so incredible is that director Vincent Grashaw creates such an intense and unnerving experience, and a mixture of classical music and Robert Picer's compositions as with his score is unnerving. The music is unnerving. It'll put you on the edge of your seat. It'll make your skin crawl even in the quieter character moments. The cinematography from Carlos Ritter is crisp and sharp and haunting in terms of how this creates tension and suspense through its visuals, through its music, its performances. A lot of them are unhinged and uncontrolled, and you're never quite sure exactly what's going on, and those reveals towards the end are shocking as hell. I do feel like there's some moments at the end and sprinkled out that are a little bit too confusing, because there's one thing of spelling everything out for the audience, but there's also another thing of, stringing them along to a point where it's like they can't even figure it out on their own because you're being so vague. And there's a couple of visual decisions at the very end of the film that kind of will have you sitting there thinking what really happened. And there's some shocking reveals and some really tense and uncomfortable plot threads throughout this film. And in the end, this is a messed up, twisted horror thriller coming your way on Shudder that's definitely worth your time, but be prepared. This deals with some heavy stuff, so trigger warning all over it, and it'll go there, so just be prepared to be taken on a ride. But those are my thoughts on What Josiah Saw. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.